Welcome to the News Report, your source for the latest updates and in-depth analysis. I'm your host, Vassilios Nicolaos Vitsilogiannis. We're bringing you the most significant news from around the world. The show is produced and distributed by the Museum of Radio Broadcasting Arts. We are committed to delivering accurate and insightful reporting. Stay tuned as we delve into the stories shaping our world. Let's start with Monday's story, 15 January 2024. Hamas released a video showing 3 Israeli hostages in captivity in Gaza. The undated tape shows Noah Argamani, 26, Yoshi Sharabi, 32, and Itai Zversky, 38, who were abducted during a cross-border killing spree on October 7, 2023. Hamas threatened to execute the hostages in retaliation for Israeli military strikes at the outset of the war. The video also shows the hostages urging the Israeli government to negotiate their release. Hamas said it has lost contact with some hostages as Israeli forces shelled Gaza, noting that they might have been killed in the process. The group also said that it would disclose the fate of the hostages the following day. Israeli officials have generally declined to respond to Hamas' public messaging on the hostages, casting it as psychological warfare. Of some 240 people seized by Hamas in the October 7 attack, around half were released in a November truce. Israel says 132 remain in Gaza and 25 of them have died in captivity. The release of the video comes as both sides mark 100 days of captivity of the hostages in Gaza. Our next news from Tuesday, 16 January 2024 is about former President Donald Trump, who won a big victory in the Iowa caucuses, cementing his status as the front-runner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Trump won by a landslide with 51% of the votes, while his main rivals Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis failed to emerge as lead challengers. Trump hailed the win as a very special night. The victory was broad as he won the young and old, men and women, and even the evangelical and hard-right conservative voters he had difficulty winning in 2020. About half of Republican caucus goers consider themselves part of Trump's Make America Great Again movement. Trump still has work to do to become the Republican standard-bearer, but he has taken the first significant step toward becoming the Republican Party's nominee in November's presidential election. Trump's win comes despite his extraordinary legal challenges, which could complicate his bid to return to the White House. Tomorrow, Trump, Haley, DeSantis, and other Republican presidential candidates will host events across New Hampshire, a purple state with a significant population of independent voters, which could prove critical for Trump and his top 2 competitors. And now Wednesday news, 17 January 2024. Ukraine has urged residents of the border areas in Chernihiv and Sumy Oblast to evacuate due to the escalating tensions along the northern border with Russia. The Sumy Oblast administration has evacuated all residents from 19 villages near the Russian border. The region has been a focal point of the conflict, with Russian troops retreating from the northern front by April 2022 after encountering logistical challenges and stiff Ukrainian resistance. The recent Russian strikes on Kharkiv, a city just 30 kilometers from the border with Russia, have resulted in several injuries and damage to residential buildings. Despite the ongoing conflict, Ukraine has been actively fortifying its northern border since the previous attacks, and Russian saboteurs are still operating in the area. The situation remains tense, with both sides engaged in military activities. The evacuation of residents from the northern border areas is a precautionary measure to ensure their safety in the midst of the ongoing conflict. Thursday News 18 January 2024 is about Pakistan and Iran have been striking each other's territory in recent days. Iran conducted an airstrike inside Pakistan targeting militant training camps. Pakistan reported civilian casualties, including children, and warned that the violation of its sovereignty could have serious consequences. In response, Pakistan exiled the Iranian ambassador to Islamabad and recalled its own ambassador from Iran. Pakistan conducted strikes inside Iran targeting separatist Baloch militants. Iran claimed it had only targeted Iranian terrorists on the soil of Pakistan in its earlier strike. The Baloch separatist group operates on both sides of Iran-Pakistan border and has been fighting an insurgency against the Pakistani state. The latest strikes come as Iran's allies and proxies in the Middle East have been facing increased pressure from the United States and its allies. The situation has left Pakistan with no easy options for response, and tensions between the two neighboring countries have reached a new low. The responsibility for the consequences of the strikes will lie squarely with Iran, according to Pakistan. The situation is still developing, and it remains to be seen how the two countries will proceed. And our last news story comes from Friday 19 of January 2024. The super rich have renewed their call for higher taxes on extreme wealth, addressing global leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. More than 250 billionaires and millionaires have signed an open letter demanding the taxation of extreme wealth, stating that it will not fundamentally alter their standard of living, deprive their children, or harm economic growth. The survey found that 74% of respondents support higher taxes on wealth to address the cost of living and improve public services, with 58% backing the introduction of the 2% wealth tax on individuals with more than $10 million. In the United States, Senator Elizabeth Warren has proposed an ultra-millionaire tax on net worth above $50 million. Similarly, Bernie Sanders has proposed an annual tax on the extreme wealth of the top 0.1% of U.S. households, with a progressive rate structure starting at 1% for net worth above $32 million. The call for higher taxes on extreme wealth is supported by a significant number of millionaires and billionaires, with 54% believing that extreme wealth concentration is a threat to democracy. This movement reflects a growing concern among the super rich about the widening wealth gap and the potential dangers of extreme wealth, as well as a desire to contribute more to address societal challenges. That was our news report this weekend. We'll be right back in a few hours. I'm your host, Vassilios Nicolaos Vitsilogiannis, and until then, have a nice weekend.